So today we're going to be talking about leveraging in-person events in 2026. We're looking forward to next year. So whether or not you're going to a big signing and you are either participating in it as you have a table and you've made an investment there, or whether it is a more craft workshop, or even if it's just a small meet and greet, these things are all going to work for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. In-person moments equal long-term impact. So what you do off schedule matters sometimes more than what's on the agenda. And the connections that you build, these personal connections are going to last and drive your book sales for years, not just months, but years in the future. And it's so something that you should consider when you are making the investment to going to an in-person signing or book conference, one of the ones that are out there. Even though they have changed over the years, I have been going to trade shows and conferences. I was just trying to figure this out. I did it before my daughter was born, so that means I've got over 45 years of experience in participating in conferences and trade shows, and also in going as both an attendee and going as a person who's actually doing presenting. And I've learned a lot of things that I want to share with you that really are valuable and really work. So why does it matter? First of all, you've already invested. You have invested, and the conference attendees have invested. They have paid money to show up. There's very few free conferences, and actually, there are no free conferences. They still have to pay to get there. They still have to pay sometimes for a registration fee, even if it's a nominal one. They have to pay for parking. Okay, they have to pay for food. They're paying with their time as well. So they have invested time and money to be there. The reason they've gone is because they like books and they like authors. Nobody would go if they weren't a reader. They wouldn't bother going because this is your core audience who are coming to book signings. And when I'm saying book signings, these big ones where you sign for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever, those kinds of things, so that you understand where I'm pointing this. They're also, the readers who are attending are also influential because they help shape the opinions in their own individual reading communities. So these are people not to discount. They are also deeply connected. They're plugged into other reader networks and book clubs. And how do you know this? Because otherwise they probably wouldn't know that there was a conference going on or a big book signing going on. So they are in that community. And they are word of mouth engines. Oh my gosh, they talk. They want to share their discoveries with all kinds of other people, not just their family, but within their network. Which this could be their book club. This could be people that they work with. This is people that they hang out with. They are connected and they are engines that will get the word of mouth out there. These readers love books. They breathe books. They collect books. They buy books. So they're not just buyers, they are advocates who will amplify your reach exponentially. That was a bad word to use. I can't pronounce it. There's also a hidden ROI. A lot of people say, a lot of authors are going, I got to sell enough books to pay for the cost of the table. Yeah, you do. But then in addition to that, you've got a hidden ROI, and that is the face-to-face moments where you're talking to a reader that's going to last not just for the book if they buy or don't buy at that moment, but the future. I still remember authors that I met and that I had encounters with who have passed away, which is really sad to say, but who've also, I was just thinking, I just heard that Fern Michaels passed away this week. And all I could do was remember all of the times that I had met her, and I had a couple of private where I was invited to little gatherings with her in DC that were at big book conferences like Book Expo, things like that. And that is how I was introduced to Fern Michaels, because I had seen her name on books, but I never made the connection until I had the opportunity to sit at a table with her doing a cocktail party. And I think that I was trying to remember when this happened, and I think that it was in 2005, 2006. And since then, I have always looked, every time she had a book that came out, I would like, ooh, and I would tell people, oh, there's new Fern Michaels book. Even though some of the books that she wrote were not to my cup of tea, I had a connection with her that it happened at a table in Washington, D.C. Okay. And it lasted for over 20 years. And I am not alone in readers. Okay. I am not alone. There are millions of us out like that. So the panels and the tables that, that gives you visibility. That gets your name out there. They can see you. It's just, if they don't know who you are, it's like introducing it. When we talk about funnels, it's the awareness, the higher awareness level. Okay, so they're going to pick up your book, they're going to see your signs. That's an immediate exposure. However, the face-to-face moments are ones that build loyalty, and loyalty and relationships last a lot longer than that 30 seconds that they walk by your table. So do remember that these connections pay off 2 to 5 years later, so that the reader who meets you in 26 will still be buying your books in 2030 and beyond. This is a strategy that most authors who are out there, they miss. They go, okay, I paid for the table. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to put a forced smile on my face. I'm going to hope readers come up to approach me and hope I sell some books. At the big book signings, that's about the way that they act. But the smart authors, they go a step beyond. They create private spaces and they invite readers in and they build meaningful relationships that last. Now, this difference isn't just effort, it's strategy, because small, intentional gatherings create an enormous impact. And so that's what we're going to talk about is how can you create those private spaces and get that extra impact. So it's really what I'm going to term as a private meet and greet. It's a simple, intimate gathering with approximately 20 people, 20 readers. And actually, you could start with 5 readers. You don't have to go, oh my God, I don't know, 20 readers who are coming to this signing. Start with 5. Okay. It doesn't have to be, please don't make it an elaborate production. All it's about is fostering genuine connection. And I am so jealous, I guess the best way of putting it is. I am so jealous because when I started doing these in 2000, I started doing these for Writer Space in 1999 and 2000. And I had to learn how to deal with conference hotels and who do you talk to there and how do you do this and how much is it going to cost. We were starting when we were doing Writer Space, it was on a shoestring. When I started Fresh Fiction, it was also on a shoestring. It was like, how much is this going to cost? How can we do it? And our audience in those days was to get together the readers that were the ones who hung out on our bulletin boards and stuff and have them meet the authors that they wanted to meet. So it was not like we wouldn't take the chance of, oh, we're going to stand in line, we're going to go to this signing, and we're going to hope that we get to talk to that author. We purposely went, we're going to have a time, an hour, we'll have coffee, something like that. We're going to have it in a private space. It might be in the hotel suite or a hotel room that we were already in. It could be in a restaurant. It could be at the Starbucks. But we found over the years what works and doesn't work. Private spaces are really important. Not expensive and not have a big spread is also important. And they are wildly effective. They create super fans who promote authors' works and businesses for years to come. So why I'm jealous is because now you can do DoorDash and just have Dunkin' Donuts deliver those cartons of coffee and cartons of hot water with tea bags and sugar and milk and cups and stirrers and napkins. And you don't have to go and try to get those and sneak them in and all of that stuff. It is so easy these days, guys. It is so easy. Every single restaurant that I am aware of and all of the coffee shops and stuff like that, they do business in what they call catering, and they will bring the stuff to you. You just have to put it out, make it look pretty, and clean up afterwards, which is like a no-brainer. Really, it is. Now, why does small work versus large meetings? Okay. The small rooms, it's a confined space, but it it gives you these big feelings, and feelings are so important, especially for women readers, and especially for all women, actually. There are four reasons why the readers feel seen. They are not just standing in line talking to other readers. They are like spending valuable time with you and other people who are similar to them because they know that the other people who are in that small room with them are super fans of you. The readers also feel very special because just being invited to an intimate gathering is creates this sense of exclusivity, and it's a value that other ones don't get. Makes them feel really special. Those readers become your super fans, which is what every author, if who wants to sell a book, needs to have is super fans. And how do you make a super fan? It's through a personal connection. So they can transform a casual reader into a passionate advocate who's out there selling for the future. As long as you're publishing, they're selling you. And everybody else feels FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, because exclusivity creates desire. People want to be part of your next event. They want to be they want to be in the group next time. Okay, so what does this produce? Readers who meet you face to face become your most valuable marketing assets. They don't just buy your books, they actively champagne them. Champ champion them. And with champagne works too. They are your loudest promoters. They're going to tell everybody about your books with and about you with a great deal of enthusiasm. They will be your early reviewers because they're going to be the first in line to grab your new release and spread the word about it. They don't even have to be on your ARC team. They're just automatic buyers. And they are repeat buyers. Once they're going to get every new release that comes out, and they often will buy extra copies to give away as gifts because they want to share the largesse that they have being your super fan. They also come regularly to events. Once they meet you, they want to come back to the next event that you're at, and they will even spend money, a lot of money, to travel to wherever you're going. And the best thing of all is they are reader to reader influencers. So you don't have to worry about are they on TikTok or things like that. They are the ones who bring in new readers to your community through their own personal recommendations. Then there's a bonus effect that just happens that you're not actually trying to promote, but it's just there. Editors, agents, booksellers, publicists, other people, influencers are drawn. They kind of drift around and they notice. They notice who is having those little private meetings. And they have a great deal of FOMO, but they also notice that you've got an active community going on. It's more than just the signing line. It's these are because they know that these people are your super fans. And any kind of industry professional is always looking for the next author who's going to be breaking out. And the ones who break out are the ones who know how to build and nurture an audience. So your private meetup can become a showcase of showing your marketing expertise. So here's a quick version how to host one. I gave you a little bit earlier with the DoorDash kind of thing. But the first thing you need to do is book a small room. Now, find a quiet space at the conference. Who you need to contact is you will need to contact when you make your reservation, and it's usually do it at the same hotel or the same place that the event is being held. And you will need to talk to the food and beverage manager, or just the front desk or the guest relations will be able to tell you how you can do it. You're going to book the room for just an hour, maybe 2 hours, not for that, not more than that. You want it to be small, so 20 people. This says 20, 25 people because I was like going for the high end, but you can start with a very small boardroom that only holds 8 people. It works the same way. Then you want to invite aim for 20 people because you're going to always get people who don't show, and reach out to them in whatever your channel is for talking to them. So you want to make sure that they're your most engaged followers. So you either send them personal emails, do a DM on social media, do a general social media thing, and make sure it's a personal invitation. The third thing to do is keep it casual and personal. This is not fancy. This is not fancy. You're not giving away a bunch of stuff, books and things like that. No. What you are doing is creating a space because you want authenticity. You want it to be a place where they can talk. So you don't want to do it in the bar because that's too noisy. If you have to do it in a restaurant or the hotel restaurant, make sure that it's in a more private space of it. And they all have like sections, like make friends with your waiter or the hostess and have them put you in a quiet corner that is easy for conversation to take place. Okay. You're creating a space. The space that you do this in is going to be the best thing for authentic conversation and connection. And then you can add a tiny touch. What I always used to do is just hand out a piece of paper or a brochure of like our services. When I do this for authors, it would be a list of all of their backlist books so that people would not miss anything. A book, even a fancy bookmark that was something different or something like that. But you don't even need to give them a bag or anything like that. You want to put this though in, I will say this, you want to put this in a little cute paper bag with fluffy stuff coming out so it feels special, so it looks special. And then you want to make sure that you follow up afterwards. You want to send them a thank you message either through email or a personal one if you have their address. And you want to stay connected with them through the regular channels. The other thing that's really popular now, because a lot of readers are doing ebooks or audiobooks, and so they don't want to actually buy another physical book or something like that, is to have a photo opportunity, which is really great because we are all visual. And so having like just a space on the side, like you could have your banner behind you or something like that that you have in your signing, have just a blank banner there too. And then ask them to share pictures on their social media and to make sure to tag you so that you can see how pretty you all looked. So now what you should be doing and saying during this meetup is keep it simple, keep it authentic. You're not going to have this big rehearsed presentation or anything else. First thing you're going to do is, of course, welcome them, express gratitude for them to be there, to spend this time that they are at this big conference or this big signing or whatever, that they took the time to come and spend an hour with you. Then do a quick story because stories help make a connection. So if you've got something either behind the scenes glimpse or just anything that's personal that says you, that says your name, like how happy you are to see them, that kind of thing. Then it's just now this is just networking things is ask them questions, get them to say things, show them how you are connected to them through the reading. So like you can even ask them like maybe not put them on the spot of what is their favorite character of yours or your favorite book, their favorite book of yours or whatever. Try to see where your connections are. Like maybe you both are big fans of Nora Roberts or something like that. That's something to talk about that makes that relationship connection between the two of you. Be sure to take photos. So I would always say that creator, the special person, the celebrity that's there should not be taking the picture. So have somebody with you that can take pictures, an assistant or a super fan that you just delegate. You say, would you mind taking these pictures? Would you mind taking pictures because I want to remember this. Worst comes to worst, hire a photographer for the hour to go around taking pictures of all of the things that are going on. This is not only something that the readers who are there are going to share on social media and things like that, but also you'll be able to share for a whole year or so of the events that took place. You can put them on your website, you can put them everywhere, but you actually have to have the pictures. And if you are the celebrity, you cannot take pictures of yourself. So if the only thing that you want to hire through this whole thing and you can't do it is hire a photographer and in this world, in this day and age, they are like not expensive. You can hire somebody, say, hey, look, I'll give you $20 or I'll give you $50 if you'll take pictures at this little event that I'm doing for an hour. And just cross your fingers and hope the pictures come out. Just saying that. And then the fifth thing to do is let the conversation flow naturally. Don't try to structure this into this is like a meeting where we're going to talk about this book and this book. The best moments are what happens organically. Like you can compare, boy, this coffee really sucks. Things like that. Or how do you take lattes? Or are you excited about what the special drink is? Or something like that. Those are just like kind of natural things that happen. And they're the things that you remember. If I'm going back to Fern Michaels, we both thought that the salad that we had at this little, or the crudité that they came around and were trying to give us was really bad. And so we both shared our distaste of food we couldn't recognize that was being passed out at this event. And I can still remember that from 2006. Can you imagine? That's like almost 20 years ago. And in my head, there's still this connection. Anyway, all right. So what do readers take away from all this? They have a memory, number one, which is really important because it's something that they're going to recall every time they see your name, they hear your name, they talk about your name. Okay? It's a moment that's etched in their memory, but it's also it's a memory or a moment that's etched in time that made them feel special. It has created a connection, which is a relationship that extends beyond the transaction of just buying a book, right? It's them not, I don't remember how many lines and how many authors I met at big signings at the RWA and RT ones and Thriller Fest and BosherCon and all of these different ones that I've gone to for over 30 years. I don't remember walking up, unless of course the author did something that wasn't nice, that I remember. But the rest of the casual ones, you don't remember. It gives a reader a reason to stay in your orbit. It gives them motivation to follow your career and to support future releases, which means that they're going to buy them because they recognize your name. They recognize the memory. You've created all of those things. And they have a story to share with all of their friends. And not just friends, but just people that they meet. And they're enthusiastic about it because they had a good time. So the bottom line for all of this is that this is priceless. You can't buy this kind of authentic advocacy. It only comes from genuine human connections. So even if you didn't sell, if you went to this signing and you didn't sell out of all of your books, if you spent 1 hour with 5 people, 5 readers, that's still paying off next year after that and on. And remember also, an added benefit is the FOMO factor because fear of missing out is something that drives humans. And the word does spread fast. They tell each other, they put pictures on social media, they'll hear the stories from the people who attended, and people will start asking and they will sign up for your newsletter or things like that because they want to know, how are they going to be part of the in crowd next time? How are they going to get invited? And once you start to do this, your future events will fill themselves because exclusivity creates demand and the personal touch creates desire. And you build a self-sustaining cycle of engagement. So it's not just this one time, but it's going to be the next time that you go to an event, people are going to expect it. So I want to give you a 2026 game plan. How do you implement this? First of all, just choose one conference. Don't do all of them because that's overwhelming. So choose one and select an event where you know that your target readers are gathering. So don't try to do a whole bunch of them. Just pick one that you think this signing is where my target authors, my target readers are. So do that. Book and block out, first of all, block out 1 hour for the reader meetup. You can do this, don't do it during the signing, no. So you're going to do this during breakfast, a break, or an evening slot, sometime when the readers are free. Then go ahead and invite your top 20 engaged readers. Reach out personally, give them invitations, Either do it through your newsletter, or if you know who people are, like you've recognized them from other signings or things that you've gone to, reach out to them, ask them if they're going. Then just say, "Hey, I'm going to have a little coffee get together. I would love to see you there. I'll send you details." And then this is going to build your, once you do this, is building your super fans. So you're going to be cultivating that relationship, which means you're going to send an invitation, you're going to have a good time, and you're going to do follow-up. Please do not forget the follow-up. The follow-up can take place with just a personal note. It is in their social media, in your social media. You want to keep connecting with that. Because remember this, humans, women, remember how other people make them feel. And those feelings last for years, and they sell books for years. And less than 5% of the authors will ever do this. Please be part of the 5% that do it. It's a secret advantage, and you should use it. Do we have any questions? I loaded a lot of stuff on you.